Okay, sports fans. This is a completed demonstration series of how to make a parabolic solar dish cooker out of a cylinder, a metal cylinder. In this case, the objective was to attempt to demonstrate how this could be done using a pre-existing 55-gallon metal oil or metal container, a used one, cheaply and affordably. And so here I've made one out of just an aluminum can, a metal can of beans, like a store-bought tin can that you have food in, and you have the other part of that already demonstrated. So here's the real quick way to do it. This thing gets pretty hot right here in the sweet zone. It starts getting pretty warm, and I didn't measure the angle of the inclination for the arc of this thing, so that's still sort of a mystery. It's not an official inclination for having a focal point. The focal point is right about there, I guess. Or is it? Focal point's right in the center, about where you'd want it to be. But it starts getting pretty hot. So this one's pretty small, so it's not going to get that hot, because the size of it it's not very big. Obviously, that's just one tin can. That's what you can accomplish with one tin can. This is an example of the way the slats were made. These are slat pieces that just slide into place there, and so they're kind of flexible, bendy a little bit, because all it is just a piece of FedEx cardboard with some potato chip bag wrapper. It's either foil, shiny foil on the inside, shinier than regular metal foil that you cover food with. This kind of foil is shinier, and of course you could build a much bigger one using this material and cardboard, pizza boxes, and you could cut these shapes out of the cardboard and cover them. They'd be pretty big. I mean, you could have each one of these pieces of panel could be 3 feet tall and 2.5 feet wide at the top. If you wanted to make your own really cheaply, it wouldn't necessarily be waterproof, but you could make your own really quickly that way, just using garbage. And the way to do that without having a metal frame, just as sort of a standalone, is to bend the edges of the slats at 90-degree angles on the arc, and then you just staple them together, clip, along this perimeter here. Put two of those edges up to each other, and then from the underside you staple them together. Then you would have the circle, but it would be really large, made out of just garbage. You could make one out of just old potato chip bags. They're really shiny. You need some obviously you need some tape to do that. Clear tape, packaging tape, box tape, and you can make a really big one. A really big version would get really hot. This small guy here, it starts heating up. I mean, I don't think it's not going to get hot enough to fry this piece of paper, fry this piece of leaf. Not quite that hot because the angles aren't precise, but there you have it. Parabolic solar cooker. I mean, it gets pretty hot. If I were to leave my hand there like that for a little while, it would get really hot. As it gets hotter in the day, obviously that will get hotter too. But that's the way to do it, real quickly. Not impossible. The concept of how to do this with a 55-gallon metal drum container is to make the frame, cutting the length down to have the arm braces, and then pinning them together. This requires a coat hanger to do the circumference, keep that in place. But ultimately, to do a 55-gallon system, that would have a diameter of about 7 feet, which is going to be pretty big. And to do that, the side braces, the strut braces, will actually be removable. So there'll be a real nice fold at the base lid of the oil drum, which will be hammered, pressure hammered, so that it still has a convex curve to it, mirrored curve to it, and those strut braces will just lock down into them, maintaining the spherical brace system. And then these panels will be removable also, and so then those will just slide into place. They will just slide into place, and locking into place, there'll be little hook dowels on the side grooves that'll lock into the arm struts to lock it into place. That way, it'll be transportable for the people using them, because people that will be using these kinds of things to cook food, beans, rice, corn, potatoes, bread, and you can cook meat and stuff, fish and things, and boil water. They'll be living in places where they don't have necessarily automobiles or even bicycles, so they'll have to be doing a lot of walking, and sometimes some of the people that have these will want to walk around their town or their village or the camp, it's a refugee camp or this or that, to make use of it at different places. You know, some people that might even become kind of part of their daily employment is just being cooks with a portable stovetop, and they'll go from tent to tent group, setting these up throughout the course of the day. And at 7 feet diameter, that's a pretty big. That winds up being a pretty good sized stock pot. Boiled water. This is okay. It's not perfect, but this is, you know, just a real quick haphazard demonstration of the basic idea that the resource material available there's probably more outdated, used 55-gallon oil drums that can be used for this than using brand new material. And so that's one way to do it.